Coming up, Peloton has a new audio-based exercise app. There's a box that can read subtitles. And fancy a trip into the cosmos?
You're listening to Double Tap, your daily accessible technology show. Now, here's your hosts, Stephen Scott and Shaun Preece.
Hello. Welcome to another Double Tap. I am Stephen Scott. Who are you?
I am Shaun Preece. Hello, Double Tappers. Welcome to the show.
Do I feel good today? I've no idea what's going on, but I think the coffee's working today. I must admit, I'm not going to lie to you. Past couple of days on the show, not felt my brightest.
No, you haven't sounded your brightest either.
Oh, thanks. I'm right back down again. Thanks.
We did say we felt a little bit low energy the last couple of episodes, so we made an effort today to be a little bit more upbeat, Stephen Scott. Is that right?
Is it? Okay, well, I'll go with it. I suppose we did. Yeah, we made the effort. Absolutely. I'm going to get into some... No. Well, I must admit, I have to say, and I know in Canada, it's all about the snow, right? You're just getting used to basically just living inside a gigantic snowball, okay?
Bit of a stereotype, but okay, we'll go with it.
I think it's a fair one, though, considering what I'm hearing from certain parts of Canada right now. But for us in the UK, it's the rain. It's you're just living under this endless blanket of rain. Now, I must admit, it does rain in this country, especially where I live in Scotland. It rains on a Monday, and a Tuesday, a Wednesday, a Thursday, a Friday, a Saturday, a Sunday, and every day for the rest of your life.
This is us being upbeat, by the way, talking about the weather.
Listen,
this is what we like.
I like this time of year. It's my favourite time of year.
Why?
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
That's beautiful.
It was nice, wasn't it? That's a little festive. That's about the festive crumb you're going to get from me this year.
You know why you like the rain, don't you? It's because it gives you an excuse to stay inside. Oh, I couldn't possibly go out. It's throwing it down.
I'm going to be honest. I am going out more in the rain than I have gone out since the summer.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that so you can go out and have a little cry, a little weep?
And no one knows. Just thinks it's raining. No, I like the fact that it's constantly dark. I never have to worry about light, except cars, obviously, because apparently cars still, even though it's dark, need to have their lights on. So selfish.
Do you know what? I heard an electric car yesterday when I was taking the dog out, and it sounded exactly like the intro to that song, I'm Not in Love. It's exactly that sound. All right. So I think now EVs are all tuned to songs. There you go. Have they all got
10cc engines? Da, 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 da. Hey,
that was so good. Well done. Oh, I'm going to shut up now. You carry on. That was excellent.
Is that it? It's the best you're going to get today. It's funny, right? Because we were kind of playing around before the show started, as we tend to do, for several hours. And I think, what we've missed on this show for a couple of days? I think I know why the mood has been low.
Why?
I think we've been missing something. And I've actually got this in the studio with me right now. I have this with me. In fact, if you listen carefully, I see the microphone's too good. You won't pick it up, but you will hear a little doggy.
Wait. We have a selection of Double Tap dogs here at Double Tap.
That's right. It's a selection, buffet of dog choice. Yes. Well, here in the studio with me today, because my wife is working from home, I have Coco, the guide dog.
Oh,
she's just down here to my left. Now, you won't. If you're watching on YouTube, you won't see her because she's sprawled out on the floor and she's snoring away. Are you kidding me?
Okay, let sleeping dogs lie. Okay, leave it. It's fine.
Yeah, absolutely. Let sleeping dogs lie. Absolutely. But no, Coco's here. And I think that's what we've needed. We needed that, and we need a bit more of this. Yes, we need...
Num. Yes, that's not annoying at all. Actually, I find that we've been missing the jingles.
Exactly. And while we're here... Hello, Mr. F.
God bless you, Mr. F. We've missed you.
Yes. Well, how can you miss him? He's always there. He's omnipresent.
Overwatching, yes. But the point is that we haven't played the Mr. F jingle in an age.
Although you did get a message from him the other day, didn't you? You got a little audio message, I believe.
I did, from the Mr. F. I was absolutely terrified to hit that play button.
And was everything okay?
Do you want me to tell you what it said?
Yes.
He said... you sent me today's show. Is it the right one? Because it starts just like one did the other week, basically saying you're getting stale and you're repeating yourself, I believe.
Oh.
I read in between the lines. He was far too professional to say that. But
Right.
basically, this intro is exactly the same as one you did last week.
What you're saying is we're recycling a little bit too much at the moment.
I had to go back to him and say, I'm very sorry, sir. But yes, it is a new show.
Sorry, sir. I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry, sir.
It sounds exactly like one we've done before.
They all do, to be perfectly honest. Clearly, he's not listening to every episode, which is maybe a good thing. Anyway, listen, welcome along to another week, and we're going to dive in. I want to start with this, because when we had the email on last week from Dean from New Zealand, I said to you at the time, there's something else he mentioned in there, and I wanted you to respond to it. I couldn't remember what it was. Listen to this. Oh, hang on a minute. Now, you see, I've changed. You see this? Never change anything. I always tell you this. Never change a thing.
No.
Okay, let's try that again.
Hi, Stephen and
Here
Laura.
it is.
First of all, Stephen, you don't need 300 keyboards. They are all the same.
No, that's
Secondly, I'm an NVDA basher.
Here we
I
are.
find it absolutely hopeless on any websites.
Yeah.
NVDA loses its place from wherever you are in the website.
Well, it doesn't.
I'm a JAWS man all day, any day, and every day.
Okay.
Next thing.
All right, okay, we got to the next thing because that was about the Lady A, and we talked about that. But I wanted to pick up on the NVDA thing because we didn't talk about that last week. So NVDA is terrible. JAWS reigns supreme.
I'm sorry. That wasn't really anything to pick up on. That was simply Dean giving his opinion, which is
I want you to give your opinion. I want, you know me, I like a fight. So come on.
What?
I'm just stoking it here.
Baiting me into
Dean was saying
Dean,
your computer is rubbish.
with Dean of all people, who who particularly isn't keen on me. Okay, all right, fair enough. What are you talking about, Dean? That's absolute nonsense. NVDA is perfectly stable. It's a beautiful software, a screen reader. It's just absolutely amazing. You're wrong, sir. All right, you happy now?
Oh, it's like that Jake and Mike Tyson fight.
No,
Equally as
hey,
enjoyable.
he may be experiencing some issues on his particular system. I will say I haven't experienced that, where NVDA just seems to lose its position, its focus on a website. I haven't found that to be an issue whatsoever.
Yeah, you should try a Mac, Dean, because I tell you, if you want to know about losing focus on a screen, wow. It's funny. This is why I kind of like having the Windows side on the Mac, and it's kind of also why I use Windows as well, because I do feel that Windows generally is a bit more. Well, certainly the screen readers have more control. Narrator, I don't know. I don't use it enough to justify or any kind of comment on that. And it's funny, isn't it? Right? I was thinking about this the other day. You never think about Narrator in the way you think about VoiceOver, do you? You never think of it in that way.
Why?
Well, that's the real comparable example, right? Of screen readers across devices. But you wouldn't think of it that way because VoiceOver is, it's because probably it's the only way you can use a Mac. So it's the only focus. Whereas Narrator, you tend to look past Narrator to NVDA or JAWS. No one says, well, not no one, of course people use Narrator, but...
Well, to be fair, look, anyone who remembers the initial Narrator knows that it wasn't fit for purpose.
Absolute garbage.
It was, exactly.
A bin fire of a screen reader.
Anything else you want to carry on?
No, I'm good.
Okay, good. But the new one,
Trainwreck.
Thank you. The new improved Narrator is very good, except it's still fairly immature. As in, it's not got all those features that NVDA that JAWS has. So it's usable, and I've used a system for a few days before going back to my preferred screen reader. I will use it. It's fine, except there are issues there where it still seems to slow down occasionally after using it for a while. There's times I find it really difficult to get that scan mode. It automatically switches between a form field and even if you open a browser and then I always do Control L to jump up to location to type in the address. Sometimes it just can't keep up with me. And the scan mode turns on and off and then on and off as I'm halfway through. Yep. So there's still some issues and glitches with Narrator. I'm hoping that they're still working on it because I love the natural voices on it. They are amazing. The best voices I've ever heard.
Oh, absolutely. I really would love those on NVDA or JAWS.
Yeah.
They really are. It's almost as worth having Narrator turn on just to hear that voice every so often. It's so crisp, it's so clear. It's brilliant.
If I'm recording a demo, I will use Narrator if I can, just because the voice is so clear, so easy to understand. It's absolutely fantastic. But I mean, you're right in the respect that VoiceOver is a fully fledged screen reader, and Narrator, despite its improvements and being perfectly usable at a certain level, it still doesn't feel fully fleshed out.
It is a plant. Prepare for it, guys. Prepare for it.
Yeah.
You're supposed to do the intro for me.
Sorry, a plant? No, you've lost me. What are we talking about?
I'm saying, when I start, let's just say, giving examples that are similar.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Yes, it's time for a Stephen Scott analogy or metaphor.
Thank you. Yes. It's like a plant that is essentially having its light cut off by the larger trees that are NVDA in JAWS.
Oh, no, that was beautiful. I think that almost works. Well done. I have no idea what you're talking about.
What I'm saying is it never gets a chance to grow. That's my
shine.
point.
Yeah,
to shine like the star that it is.
Yeah, well, to be fair, that's Microsoft's job to make those changes.
The starry bit, yeah.
Yeah, to prune it and nurture it to make it grow into something beautiful.
Okay, this is getting ridiculous. Okay, so let's move on to something totally different. Do you know what I think we need just at this moment in time?
Yes.
I think we need a new operating system. So let's chuck one into the mix. So there's a brand new operating system that apparently has been around for a little while, although no one has paid any attention to it. And the company behind it are very keen to, do what we were just saying. Basically, bring that little plant out of the...
please.
Yeah, let's just stop that analogy. But yeah, put some sunshine onto it. This is
teasing me. What
CosmOS.
Is it?
CosmOS. CosmOS from Humane AI. Remember them?
Okay.
This was the company that brought you the AI pin that was a huge success.
Oh, sarcasm. Well done.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got to say, they've got an uphill struggle on their hands trying to convince anyone, really, that we should pay attention now because of the promises and, totally undelivered promises from the AI pin.
Well, let's have a listen to the promotional video that goes with this.
Uh-oh.
We'll talk on the other side of this.
When we first announced AI Pin, not only did we launch a first-of-its-kind hardware device, but also CosmOS, our operating system, built from the ground up for AI. But with the world's focus on the pin, we didn't get much of a chance to tell you about the OS and how easy it is to integrate it into other device form factors. Let's dive in.
All right, so CosmOS is an AI OS built for the intelligence age, the era where AI is doing more for us than ever before. We built it to take full advantage of AI, so it understands what you're saying, the context of your preferences, and what's happening in real time. We also built it to work on all sorts of devices. Turn up the heat at home and tell me what time people are coming over.
Set to 72 degrees, and people are coming over at 6 p.m.
With CosmOS in the car, it's so easy to get things done without having to take your eyes off the road. Just make any request or ask any question, and CosmOS will do all the work for you. What are some takeout spots the group might like?
Some takeout spots are Gregoire, Lucia's, and Korean Superette.
By understanding context, your preferences, and needs, CosmOS provides personalized assistance, streamlining interactions, and handling complex tasks across all of your devices.
Text the first one to the group chat and ask them what they want. What's the guac recipe I was asking about yesterday?
Mash 2 ripe avocados in a bowl. Add finely chopped small onion, chopped cilantro, minced garlic clove, and lime juice. Mix well and season with salt to taste.
And because CosmOS can orchestrate a whole bunch of AIs, you can even ask a more complex question. How much time is left in my favorite team's match? And has anyone scored yet?
There's 15 minutes left in the first half of the CosmOS game. Nobody has scored yet.
I've got CosmOS on my phone here, and I'm just gonna have it read this email for me. Check out this email and tell me if there's anything I need to do.
CosmOS orchestrates things for you, doing the hard work of researching, multitasking, and communicating so that you don't have to.
You need to reply to confirm your attendance or ask any questions about the benefits information session on Wednesday. The open enrollment deadline is this Friday.
check my calendar, and tell me if I can make it.
It's time for a new agentic AI-driven operating system to enable omnipresent compute across all of the devices you use today and those you will use in the future.
So that is the promise of CosmOS. This is the new operating system from Humane. Now, look, I think initially the temptation here is to go, okay, here we go. Here's something new that's going to have problems. But I wonder if this is actually a really...
my tongue so hard.
I know. Well, let me put my stake out here in this one. Because look, I think this is probably the likelihood of where we're going to end up with all operating systems down the line. If the promise of AI is what it lives up to be, essentially if it's able to enact on our behalf, if it's able to see on our behalf, if it's able to hear on our behalf, then all of these things come together and suddenly we end up with this multi-dimensional operating system which can do lots of different things. Instead of us having to sit down and type an email out, so go to Outlook, open Outlook, new email, it's just send an email to Shaun, we bark it to the air, and it knows who you are because it knows we talk, so it knows it's you, it knows where to send the email to. That links into Microsoft because that's where the account is. That makes sense. And then equally, it's connected to my thermostat, it's connected to my television, it's, put on channel 1 or, whatever. I think that's where it's all going. The question is Humane there first, or is the, let's just say, issues surrounding their AI pin going to be perhaps the thing that actually really gets the attention?
Yes, of course it is. We've heard these promises before. Have we learned nothing, Stephen Scott? The Rabbit
Never.
R1, how's that working out for you?
Oh, the Rabbit R1, it's great in the box. I have to say, the box it comes in is fantastic. I like the box.
How excited were we about that? The ability to get, to make AI operate your apps and do things for you. It just learns a complete... Actually, I'll hold back on that. Didn't work. Let's put it that way. They've got...
Okay, but hang on, but that didn't work. But that doesn't mean it can't work.
No, but again, we're talking about potential. I think we're past this now. We're past this AI hype of, hey, think of what it could do. We are still, look, we talk all the time about how fast AI is evolving, right? Of course we do, and it is. But the point is, we're still pretty much at the same level when it comes to hallucinations, right? No one's been able to roll out AI in replacement to the search engine because it simply isn't reliable enough. We've yet to see it doing that. And sorry, I hate these new terms that keep coming up. What's it called? Agentic?
Omnipresent computing.
Agentic. So this is the new buzzword, which means that it's an agent. So this is where it can take actions for you. It will go off and control apps. It will go off and do whatever. We still haven't seen that. We haven't seen that work properly.
But hang on. Are you guilty of falling into the trap of a lot of people who will just immediately put the name of the company ahead of what they're doing? So the Elon Musk phenomenon, I guess you might call it. You think, oh, Tesla, Elon Musk. SpaceX, Elon Musk. Humane, operating system. Oh, that's the people with the terrible pin. Can a product come out that's bad, and then we can, accept its flaws, move on, and say, okay, look, that happened. It wasn't great. No. You're writing them off right away. Wow.
The only possible way they can right the wrong that was the Humane AI pin is to bring something actually to existence that works. Look, we've seen all these videos before, all these promotional videos. And yes, those examples there are great. Hey, check my calendar, do this, and turn the heating on while you're there. Fantastic. This has never materialized. We've never got this to work so far. Even ChatGPT, the acknowledged leaders in this field, still haven't got this working in a public way. So I'm sorry, I'm just not buying it now.
Isn't it weird though?
We've been fooled too many times.
You'd think that'd be the easiest thing to do. I mean, I say this having no knowledge about any of this works, but you would think though that it's possible to create an action on a device to say, like for example, I mean, I'm talking behind the scenes here, right? Someone can say to the air, Lady A, turn on my light, and the light turns on. Now, that's possible at the moment, right? So surely the easy next step is to be able to say, turn on my light and do this. that shouldn't be impossible. I mean, we can do that, right? We can do that with shortcuts. We can create that now. We can either do it ourselves or devices can do it.
Isn't it called
like Alexa routines or
where you're combining two commands almost, or multiple commands in one? And that's been promised for the longest time, even before AI as in its current form, at least. You know, when the smart speakers first came out, it was promised that we'd be able to give it multiple commands. Why is it so difficult? And the answer is the way it currently works in case of smart speakers is a lot of the verbiage that you're using is being thrown away. It's looking for turn on, and then for the next thing, the name of the object, light. Everything else in between, it's almost throwing out. Now, when you start to add multiple commands in there, it gets confused as to the context of it. And this is where AI is so useful because of the context-aware interaction, those language models, which is still the thing that blows us away about it, how it understands. But it still seems to be a problem of hallucinations. And once you start saying, giving, you know, an AI control of actual physical world objects, such as your boiler or your heating or your AC or your lights or, God forbid, your oven, you know, hallucinations are really going to be a problem, and no one's going to go with that liability. Look, at the end of the day, fantastic. I'm more than happy to, if they bring this out and it's as good as they say, I will be first in queue. I will be buying this thing. But right now, they've got to prove themselves, and a PR video just isn't doing it for me. I am not buying it.
Okay, all right.
Sorry.
Shaun the Cynic today.
I've just been burnt too many times.
Well, look, I don't disagree with you, because, of course, this is a company who brought out a device which felt a little bit like it was promising more than it could deliver, and it seemed to be unable to deliver it. And now they've decided to switch to software. I mean, I love that opening line. You know, when we were talking about the pin, you might have missed all the news about this wonderful operating system we have. Come look over here. That thing that's on fire, just ignore it.
So what was
all those burning AI pins? Just leave them over there on fire. We're just getting rid of those.
Attention to the pins behind the curtain.
Ignore that. Just look over here. Yeah.
Was it the hardware that was at fault? Because it simply didn't work. We've seen all the reviews. You know, we've heard all about it. It simply.
Well, remember with the pin, I mean, maybe, I don't know if you're getting mixed up a little bit with the rabbit. The rabbit was certainly had issues, but the AI pin, was it not about lag and response time?
Yeah, it didn't work. That's exactly the point.
But that was based on the hardware. What they're doing is they're shifting gears here. They're saying, okay, look, you have a lot of technology. Interestingly, in that video, a lot of the devices they were using were all blurred out. They weren't showing you any specific devices they were using. That's not to suggest they are building devices. Instead, they're looking to build a platform. I think that's a smart move, to be perfectly honest.
What's a platform? What is the platform? Are they building a platform, or is this no different to Claude or Gemini or ChatGPT?
No, I think this goes further. I think this is the next step, though, right? The next step is to build not an app store, but like an AI store, essentially. You know, this is how I think about it. I think of, you know, my bank, for example. This is the things you want to do, right? You want to check your bank balance. I'd love to say to Lady A, you know, can I check my bank balance? She asks me for a PIN number, and I give her it, and suddenly I've got the bank balance there, right? Yeah. Or I want to transfer money, or those actions that I want to take.
Why hasn't that happened?
Well, that is down to the companies themselves. So that would be down to the bank in that case to develop that app, because they have to put their own security into it. They've got to build their own system. Is there a structure currently that would allow them to do that? And I don't think there is. And that, to me, is what CosmOS is. It's a platform that people can use. And I don't know, maybe it isn't, but I think that's ultimately where we're headed. There has to be a platform to develop this kind of tool onto, because otherwise all we have are these agents who we can ask questions to and get responses back. But you know, you can ask only so many times what the tallest building in the world is. We need to go beyond that. And that's down to companies, that's down to the individual app developers from companies and business. Surely they're looking at that now to say, okay, how could I develop a safe and secure banking app, for example? Uber, you know, I want a car, I want it now, it knows where you are, it locates you, you don't have to interact with a device. I mean, look, from the blind point of view, all this sounds fantastic if that was to come to fruition, because it takes the screen out of it, and actually accessibility just kind of, or the challenges around accessibility kind of melt away for blind people, because suddenly you have this simple system where you just talk to it. You don't have to go through the whole routine of, entering, captures. I was asking people the other day on Mastodon about Blue Sky, who's trying it out, and loads of people saying, "Yeah, I can't sign up to it because of this captcha," or I think the word that's being used is crapcha at the moment, which is totally correct. But you can't get past it. I think it's called H captcha, this particular one, and you can't get past it.
And
that's what I mean. It's like all these things are in the way.
Using that is absolutely ridiculous right now. I won't even bother with.
Yeah, no, I agree. But this is what I mean. All these things we need to find ways past, and this is why I'm kind of positive about this future with this. This kind of operating system sounds good. Whether it's these guys or whether it's someone else.
Fool.
No, I'm not saying it's these guys, right? Don't you turn into everyone else who starts saying, he said this. I'm not saying
Stephen
it's them.
Scott
I'm
says
just saying
humane is the answer. Okay.
It's not humane. But this type of operating system, I think, is the future. And but there needs to be a platform for developers to build into.
Does there?
And I don't think there is at the moment.
This is the thing. This is absolutely the thing. I'm not smart enough to know how this AI, what do we call it, engines, these AI services, these AI platforms are going to work. Is it a case that people, companies, let's take the bank, for example, are they going to need to build a skill like you currently do for the smart speaker, for the Echo?
Mm-hmm.
Or when we reach a stage where this truly becomes generative AI, as in that it's not just trained on one specific, or even a general training model. It's just, it can reason on its own. So when you do mention, I want my bank balance, it knows where to go. Maybe it will just be a case of the first time you do it, it'll ask you, okay, what's your bank? And then it just goes off and does it.
Well, that may well be
apps and middlemen in the way. I think that's probably the way it's going to go.
Or women.
Sorry. Okay. Let's say middle daemons in the way.
Oof.
Sorry.
Damon.
Who's a bit of nerdage there.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay. That Damon. Right.
Yeah.
With the E in it.
All right. Demon. I don't actually know.
That's what I prefer. Demon. I always like that. Yeah. I don't know. I suppose maybe it's traditional thinking that makes you think that the company has to build its own app.
Well, yeah.
Based upon the API that would, because this is the way we do it now. Right? They would have to build the app in-house, and then that app would be available, but it would come up differently. Instead of an app, I think they would call it an agent.
Yeah.
Ultimately, that's where I think it would get to, because you have to have security with banking. I mean, goodness me, you don't want generative AI saying, yes, Stephen, you have $2 million in your account. Fantastic. I'm all spending on Amazon. It turns out you get a $5 in there,
Yeah.
But interesting idea. Whether or not Humane can pull this off, look, honestly, I'm fighting for the sake of it, just because it's a good argument. But I don't think Humane are going to be the guys to do this. But I wish them well. Who knows, right? Who knows?
You need that.
Someone's got to start the fire somewhere, right? Someone's got to light the fire.
Moment. You need less of the PR videos and everything. You need that. Let's do a Steve Jobs. Here's the demo live on stage. Look what we've done. Look what you can do now.
MacBook Air in an envelope.
Yes, something like that. Yes,
I like that.
That was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I've got it here. Good old days.
Sorry, a bit of nostalgia there. We just went all a bit misty-eyed.
Oh, remember the days when innovation happened. Okay, let's move on to something else. This is a little bit different, and it's a device I have never heard of, but I'm very intrigued by. It's called the GoBox, and there's actually a number of them from a company called Sensotech, and they are building these boxes. There are 3 in the range that provide various functions. Ultimately, these boxes allow you to access subtitles on your device. Now, you might be thinking, okay, interesting. What's that got to do with blind people? Well, what if I told you that these boxes can actually verbalize your subtitles? So if you're watching a foreign language movie, it can read it for you. If there's any subtitles or you prefer subtitles to be read to you aloud, that can happen. If you're struggling to see them, you can have them read to you, or you can have them magnified. Here's the promotion video from the company. They're based in the Netherlands. It's a very interesting company. We are going to try and get them on. We've reached out to them to come on and tell us about this, because I've never heard of this before at all.
No.
And it came up because someone was asking me once about listening to subtitles. And I know on the iPhone there is a way you can get your subtitles read aloud. I think, is it called Media something, media captions. It's in the settings.
It's in Rotor as well. Media description, you can turn it off or on or set it to Braille or voiceover.
That's right. Yeah, you can have them available in Braille or in, right, or in audio as well. It will use the voiceover voice to
or off
read the subtitles. Yeah, but this one allows you to connect to this box connects to your television as like a pass through. And the video I'm going to play you, this little clip here, does actually explain the installation process a little bit, just so people understand how it actually functions. Let's listen to this.
The GoBox family consists of 3 products: the GoBox, the VoBox, and the GoBox Plus. The GoBox detects the subtitles in the TV image and then reads them aloud in the chosen voice.
Zodat saus goed door de pasta wordt opgenomen.
The VoBox magnifies and enhances the contrast of the subtitles. The GoBox Plus combines both magnification and reading the subtitles aloud.
Je ruikt nu ook al die aroma's die vrijkomen.
The Go or VoBox needs to be installed between the TV and the decoder of your television provider. To do so, follow these 3 steps. Step 1. Connect the cable of the decoder into the GoBox. Step 2. Connect the GoBox to the TV with the included HDMI cable. And Step 3. Connect the power supply. Using your TV remote, set the TV to the correct HDMI input, often called source. The GoBox will automatically magnify or read aloud the subtitles when you switch between channels with the TV remote control.
Versieslagroom.
The GoBox turns on automatically when the TV is turned
En de
on.
parmezaan toevoegen als de room warm is geworden.
Now, I've got to say, I find that quite incredible. I've never heard of this before. And look, I will say we're checking to see if it is available in Canada because at the moment I've been told that, we'll come back to you on this. The person I spoke to on reception when I called said, we'll get back to you on it. So I'm waiting for an email and the next show we should hopefully have that answer. But I am intrigued by this. Currently available in Europe and in the UK. Not sure about the US yet. Comes in at around $700 or $800, depends on the calculation, between $700 and $800 Canadian dollars. It's about £550 UK, just a bit, maybe $600 US dollars on that basis. But, it's an interesting device because it does make subtitles accessible in a new way. Now, of course, there are other ways to get accessible subtitles. And we could talk about Apple TV, for example, which has got built-in capabilities. But what I kind of like about this is it does allow for transmission from television. So it must be OCRing the screen. It must be actually seeing the screen and reading the text from there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it must have enough processing power in it to real-time OCR scan the pass-through HDMI image from wherever. I mean, they say the decoder box from your cable provider or your TV broadcast provider. I'm assuming you could plug a DVD player, a Blu-ray player, or anything that's pumping out an HDMI video signal into this, and it must be scanning. I'm assuming the lower half of the screen for subtitles. I don't know. This is a strange one, as you said. I've never heard of this before. And when it said, it can also magnify, I thought, what? This has got a screen, but I'm assuming that's just altering the video that's going through to your TV and magnifying again the section with the subtitles on.
Yeah.
So this does sound like very clever technology. And you know what I was going to say? A part of me was going to say, well, of course, with features that we've got now for making subtitles accessible, I'm forever with that voiceover on the iPhone. Sorry, what you just talked about with the media description. You're watching something and then the voiceover read the subtitles out. But of course, I've got audio description on as well, which will also read the subtitles out as part of the audio description track. So I'm forever turning it off. But the fact of the matter is, if there's burnt-in subtitles in, say, a YouTube video or any web video or anything, older media out there, simply passing it through this will make that text accessible. That's a big deal.
That's the clever thing. So it was saying, like, it works with Netflix, it works with Amazon Prime, it works with Disney. It doesn't really matter where the content comes from. If it's on screen and there are subtitles on screen, it will recognize that and it will read those aloud or it will magnify them, or both if you have that choice of box. What's also kind of cool, and it made me think about something we've talked about with audio description quite a lot, and that is that with this box you can actually have the sound either come through the television or through a Bluetooth headset. So if, for example, you had someone in the family who didn't require them spoken aloud, you could have them in your ear, just the voice of the machine or the GoBox in your ear via a Bluetooth earpiece or a wired earpiece. And I kind of thought, I really wish they could do that with audio description. I wish you could detach it in that way.
Yes.
And have audio description, because that means for families who, you know, the amount of times I've been at my mum and dad's house, they don't mind audio description being on, but they don't prefer it. You know, we spend more time trying to explain to them, that's the audio description talking, leave it alone.
Yes. I know what you mean.
and you end up missing half the film anyway, or half the show anyway. And so to be able to detach it from the television and just have it in your ear would be really nice. That would be the kind of nice next step. I hear so many advances. It's funny, we talked earlier about, you know, CosmOS and, you know, the potential for operating systems in the future. But I also see so many companies, especially big television companies, talk about, you know, what the future of television will be. And the truth is, the future of television just seems to carry on and be what it always has been. Big screen and a sound bar you know, just sound essentially. Most people don't tend to go for big theatre sound systems. They tend to just have a sound bar or a single source of sound in the room. And that's it. You know, this idea of 3D and Atmos and it flying from every angle and, you know, move the sound around your space all sounds lovely, but no one seems to bother with any of that.
How long ago was it that we talked about, you know, the new, was it Dolby audio system where, you know, each sound is its own object and you can be placed around? Maybe this was to do with Atmos, but a whole part of that conversation was about audio description. Hey, if you want it coming from one speaker to your left behind you, or as you said, to headphones, you can move the audio description wherever you want. An audio descriptive track is just an object, like a car passing from left to right. Have you seen that appear anywhere? Have you seen that happen? No, of course not. We're still struggling with audio description just being a stereo track and not even being, you know, 5.1. As soon as you turn audio description on, sorry, that's just a stereo track now, because they haven't bothered to mix it into the surround sound.
Well, that's the problem, and that happens a lot. No, but you're right, it does. And, you know, Apple TV have kind of got it nailed, or at least Apple TV Plus, I should say, their subscription service where you can watch films and movies. You still have the full 5.1 surround sound. I think Disney do as well, but a lot of the companies don't. You're right. You know, you start watching a movie with audio description and it's stereo. And, you know, for me, it's not just always about detaching the audio description, controlling the volume as well. That would be quite nice, because sometimes the volumes are just poorly mixed.
Oh, terrible. Yeah, I had one the other day where the audio description was really low and the movie was really loud. And it's you can't watch it. Terrible.
No, it's horrible. But I love the idea of this GoBox. I don't know if it's something I would necessarily use personally.
No,
I kind of like. Well, I suppose there's another way to look at it, which is it would open up a lot of movies that I would never be able to watch. Foreign language movies that I've never watched. I might think, oh, that sounds quite interesting.
What? You don't watch foreign movies like Crouching Tiger, Touching Dragons, or whatever it is. You haven't watched that?
No, I mean, missed that one, sadly.
Apparently, it's amazing, but I've never watched it either because it's fully subtitled.
I mean, you know, I get so Squid Game season 2 is coming out on Boxing Day. Yes, it's going to be launching on Netflix on 26th of December. I've got to say, I really liked season 1. I don't know if I could go through it all again for season 2, but I'm willing to give it a try.
Because that doesn't make sense. You liked season 1, so what's the hesitation?
Well, it's a tough watch. It's a tough watch.
I gave up at the end of episode 1 because it sounded like I was watching some sort of anime cartoon.
You didn't like the dubbing, did you?
The dubbing was just sounded awful to me.
I got over that very quickly. I thought the story was good, and I thought it was very well done. I just don't know if I could put myself through that level of misery for season 2. Although we probably will.
Would you rather watch a full length movie or show with a TTS reading the entire subtitles out to you?
Well, that's the thing, right? It's like, how is that going to be in reality? Like, what are you going to get out of that? We talk about emotion in audio description. Well, are we going to start having to have, voices give description to match the description of the voice that's being used in the
Yeah.
language, say French or whatever language it is.
I don't even want to go there yet, though. I still think this concept is a really good idea, and this could help a lot of people that maybe aren't into streaming boxes and whatever else. They just got their TV and a cable box, and they want to be able to access subtitles. This seems like the perfect solution to me.
And the magnification thing as well, for a lot of people who are just struggling there, that could be enough.
Are subtitles
for
always
some
in the
people.
bottom now? I thought you could move them about. Are they by default always at the bottom of the screen?
There are options depending on your television. I think Samsung have got some subtitle specific sort of choice options. You can change the contrast, the color. I know certain apps I've gone into have got different subtitling options, larger print or contrast, and that's brilliant. I think that's absolutely brilliant. But nothing that reads them.
No.
I haven't tried it on the Apple TV. I used to. I think I found it once by accident, because when you ask Siri on the Apple TV to skip back 5 seconds or jump back 10 seconds on something, it will bring the subtitles up on the screen. It almost kind of acts like a "what did he say" or "what did she say" thing.
Yes.
And I remember once I must have had that function turned on, and it actually read aloud what was said.
It scared you to death. Yeah.
It did a little bit, yeah, because it was like, wow. But it does that horrible voiceover thing where it ducks the audio, and I'm completely confused.
And it's really loud. Yeah.
I've got to be honest. Can I just say this? I love the Apple TV. I really do. I think it's probably the most accessible streaming box out there. But can we have a conversation about adding some kind of shut the heck up button on the remote or something? Because the amount of times it starts talking, so you hit play and it starts playing. And then there must be a bar up that's telling you the time remaining. So it tells you the time.
01.
01.
02.
And then it tells you the end time, 57:41. And then, that bar goes away, and it has to tell you that bar's gone away by beeping. And then the sound disappears again and then comes back. And it gets to the point I'm now turning voiceover. I start a movie, I turn voiceover off.
I do exactly the same.
And then I hit play, because I think I can't be bothered with this all the way through. As soon as my wife says, "Can you pause that a minute?" I just can't go through it.
And then it proceeds to shout out all the terrible things that this show that I'm going to watch has.
Yes.
This has adult whatever and language. I'm like, shh, don't
This
tell
film
everyone.
contains, that's my favourite one. This film contains language. Well, you know what? That's going to be helpful. I mean, unless it's the first half hour of WALL-E, I really don't mind that there's language in there.
Where were we going? Oh, yeah, the GoBox. Yeah, good idea. Well done.
So we are going to hopefully get them on. I'd love to hear from them, the company that have developed this. We'd love to hear the design idea behind this. Lots of little products like this that come along from time to time. You just think, wow, I had no idea. So I wanted to share that with you today. Let's go to a couple of messages because we've got some time. Let's go to this. This is, I don't have a name here from the person who sent this, but this is on the subject of Envision.
Hey, Stephen, Shaun. This is my third time recording this. We're going to get it on one take.
Let's do it.
I am using the Envision glasses, their new Ally version. So if you have the Envision glasses, make sure you update to version 2.9.0. One of the big things about this Ally Assistant that not a whole lot of people are talking about right now is that I am able, everybody will be able to play video games with this thing. I've been playing Grand Theft Auto, and if you know anything about that game, you know that it's very intense with notifications and things appearing on the screen. And the notifications make sounds when they appear, so I can just have Ally read the notification, and I know what to do from there. I would love to do a demo of this thing. I think these are going to be huge in the assistive technology world. So reach out, keep in touch, and I would love to try to help do that and facilitate that. I'm also trying to figure out how to record in the best quality of videos, wanting to get into video editing and that sort of thing. So any ideas, reach out. And I think a future podcast episode, there needs to be an entire hour spent on what equipment do you guys have? How do you record?
Wow.
And there needs to be demos on how to set everything up.
Oh, goodness.
Like I use Logic Pro on my Mac, for example.
Okay.
And so I'm just, Logic to my audio interface to my computer. So very simple. I'm not a huge like tech savvy guy. I'm a simple kid from Kansas who's just trying to make it and survive with social media. So thank you so much for taking my call. I appreciate you. It is November 29th, 2024. So
is it?
Hope you guys have a great holiday season out there. And yeah, happy weekend. All right.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
We didn't get a name. I didn't make one out there.
Name.
We'll just say Kansas Kid. Oh,
Kansas
thank you so
Kid.
much.
Wow, that's not patronizing at all.
No, I'm just taking what he said. The point is, though, with Ally, God, it sounds like I'm really on one today.
You're not. I've got to be honest. I feel like if I'm coming to you with an idea these days, it's like, nah, I don't like it.
The point is, right, it allows you to play video games. I get that, but the example you give is just basically reading a notification that pops up on the screen from your pager in GTA, right? You could do that with Seeing AI right now. In fact, Seeing AI, you could argue, if you prop your phone up in front of the screen, it would read that notification every time it pops up. As far as I know, and I'm using the Ally app at the minute on the iPhone, it doesn't do real-time scanning. You know, it's very good at doing the Be My Eyes thing of take a picture and describe, and it does a great job of that. But you can't say, hey, just watch this screen and let me know if any notification pops up, right? As far as I'm aware, at the moment, it's the same as that Celeste demo where I was so excited about it. It was constantly taking pictures, which in essence, in practical terms, was like real-time scanning. Now, it seems like, I don't know what's happening with Celeste at the minute. It's all gone very, very quiet. But none of the AI that we want that would be really useful to us in the real-time video description and real-time scanning is actually available yet. And I think that's still the same on Ally, at least as far as I know.
I mean, I love the idea of it. It was kind of making me think about my truck game, thinking, okay, so could I use that to like read? Because I can't read anything on the screen while it's playing. So I think, well, that read the screen. But the problem is there's a reality to all this, isn't there? With all these screen reading apps, I mean, especially if you're having a generic one, I say generic, but something that's just looking at the screen bare and saying, okay, there's lots of text on there, let me read it for you. That it's just going to start reading from top left to top right.
Exactly.
It's not going to make any sense.
Of Seeing AI would do exactly that, whereas AI will contextualize it and hopefully figure out, okay, that bit's meant to be, the representation of your character's page.
This is where we want it to become, and I'm going to use the word you don't like, agentic. Right, because you could almost say, right, look, watch for notifications coming in, read them out to me.
Yeah.
And it would actually be able to do that. And that kind of thing would be really cool. I think that would be amazing if it was just doing that all the time. I mean, the idea would be through glasses, but if you're playing a game for a couple of hours, I don't think glasses would hold up for that.
Well, actually, that's a good point, because he did mention specifically the Envision glasses. And if you're wearing those glasses whilst playing a game, then I suppose it's not so much of an issue. You hear the beep notification and you say, hey, what does that say on the screen? I still haven't, as I said, I can't get the Ally on the version of the Envision glasses that I have. So I would still love to hear from many of our listeners that do have the Envision glasses that have tried this out.
You're pouring cold water on the Kansas kids' dreams.
That's patronizing, but yes. No, I'm not pouring it on his dreams at all. He's using it.
Enjoying his games.
Look, the point I just want to clarify is because the way he said it there, I took it that, it was scanning constantly the screen, and it's not. And
no.
Yeah, okay. I just wanted to make that clear for people that may be getting excited by that.
I know, I get that, but equally, you're still pouring cold water. You've been pouring cold water over everyone today. Look, I know it's raining outside, and I know you are currently soaking wet, but that doesn't mean that everyone else should be.
By the way, we did do that. What's our video kit, our audio kit on the YouTube channel before the Double Tap went daily over there. Is it still on the channel? I thought so.
You're asking me. Yeah. I imagine so, unless YouTube has, flagged it for deletion.
Yeah, probably.
I imagine it's probably still there. Yeah, no, go check it out. You're right. We did a couple of videos just before we turned into this daily thing on YouTube.
Yes, just go back to the start of the Double Tap
like
channel.
And subscribe.
See.
Yes, just go back to the beginning. But yeah, we did talk a lot about that. I mean, it's actually interesting because there was a time when I would sit here with surrounded by equipment, and nowadays it's so simple. It really is. I mean, it was so complicated back in the day. Now we're literally sitting here with a computer, a webcam, and a microphone, and a couple of other bits of kit, but nothing really that No, I mean, you can have talked, you say, oh, I use Logic Pro. I mean, you're higher up the ladder than I am because I don't use Logic Pro. Barely use what I'm using.
Audacity.
I'm using Audacity. I'm using Audacity on a virtual machine because I cannot figure out the accessibility of the... Although in saying that, you got me thinking about something actually, because, good old Michael, when he was on the other day,
yes,
we were talking about a VOCR or VOCR, as my screen reader announces it. But VOCR, which is the screen reader function, which is brilliant on the Mac, it's not actually part of Apple's VoiceOver. It's an extra tool that you can download and you can add to your Mac, and it gives you the ability to essentially scan your screen and, get a text analysis of what you're seeing on the screen. If, say, for example, a website or an application window or something is just not reading for you, you can use VOCR. And I was thinking about Audacity because Audacity on the Mac, which is the audio editor, for those that don't know, that audio editor on the Mac is not accessible. And it's the save window, or the export window, when you're exporting a file, and it says, name of file, type of file. None of those boxes read anything. And then I'm thinking, VOCR can read them.
VOCR, quite frankly, is amazing. It's like a screen reader for your screen reader.
I like that. Oh, that's table for your Hable.
You can have that
on
one.
That level. Well done.
But it is though, right? I mean, it's so cool that it may be the Jules' next big thing. It will be.
I think it is the next big thing. Thanks to Robin Christopherson. Who suggested, that's a good idea. You should copy it on your screen reader.
Is a good idea. Yeah, no, absolutely. It's fantastic. I don't see why that wouldn't work. And by the way, we are still playing with Reaper, and we're still, both of us now, still planning to make that switch because...
Do you think it's ever going to happen?
Well, I don't know. It's this video editing, right? I do not do any video editing. I cannot do it. And I know, we're going to struggle with the video editing. We're going to have to go purely non-visual, and Reaper maybe
just going back to the audio. That would be a lot easier.
Well, yeah, it would.
Do this in audio on YouTube. Is that possible? That would work, wouldn't it? You don't see our faces.
Well,
you've seen us. You know what we look like now. It's not really changed from here.
We did talk about this. If we just posted up the audio onto YouTube, would that be the same?
The sighties don't like that. That's the sighted folk. They all get upset.
Yeah, everyone is
against your face. You ever been on a video call with sighties? You ever been on a video call with those people?
With sighties? Now and again, Stephen. Yeah, it has happened.
They always say the same thing. Oh, I can't see you. Your camera's off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, your camera's on. I can't see you. So what does that tell you? What does that mean?
Oh.
Blow their minds.
Oh, that's very good, Stephen. Well done. Stephen
Full
Scott,
of knowledge
building bridges.
Oh, dear. Well, look, I've got to say, I think that, all these ideas are great, and I kind of love the way that we're moving forward with AI, but I'll be intrigued to hear what people have got to say about Envision Ally, because my understanding was it is a good personality-based AI because it can swear at you. Which, I don't know if that's a selling point or not.
That's the first thing everyone tells you about it, though, including myself, by the way. Honestly, amazing. It just swore at me.
Yeah.
But
I don't know if I like that.
Look, when I first got it, I'm trying... You know what? I shouldn't really talk about it because this is a beta we're talking about. But I will say, I've used it to describe a few, hey, tell me what's in front of me. The old staple there. And I was quite impressed with the description, and especially it's all about that being tuned for the blind. You did a good job. I'll say that.
Look, it's just like Be My Eyes or Be My AI, Seeing AI, all these things, they are tuned for us. That's why they work so well. And I think that's why, with the whole issues around Meta Ray-Ban, we're still getting emails about it, people saying, it's not working properly, or can't get the AI.
I've given up on the AI.
Yeah.
I'm just going to wait it out.
Look, guys, if you're buying the Meta Ray-Bans, I think you're getting Be My Eyes, which in and of itself is a reason to get them.
Mm-hmm.
If there's nothing else you get them for, it's that. If you have the basic AI, if you're outside of, or in a country that doesn't support Meta AI yet, you're going to get basic AI. I'll be honest, I use it as a talking clock most of the time. I'm just sitting here going, what time is it?
Clock and playing my music. They sound great.
Plays music, podcasts sound good. Audio off them is very good. I mean, it's better than the Bose frames back in the day. Better than any of these other ones like the Anker Soundcore frames we tried. I'd never tried the Echo glasses. I never got around to getting hands on with those.
The Echo frames?
Yeah, Echo Frames. Yeah, I remember those. They came out, but it was US only.
US only. Yeah, never got my hands on them. Yeah, no. Look, I've got the Anchor Sound core frames here, which were like, after the Bose were the next best things, but they just don't even compare. The audio on the Metas are fantastic.
We didn't mention the other story, and we've only got a minute left. I want to mention this one. I knew there was something else. Peloton have, and this is actually more of a request for information here, because Peloton have launched a new audio app for training, and they say it's like an invisible strength coach. Well, that means. But basically, it's not available in the UK. We can't test it. So we were wondering if anyone out there has tried this. Anyone's got access to it. It is available now. It's called Strength Plus. You can use it. I think there's a free trial, so you can get a free trial out of it. You, of course, will have to pay a subscription to use it. If you're a Peloton user or owner of Peloton, and we know there are listeners who have Peloton, you would be able to use this app for free. But it is audio-based, has audio cues, guides to help you do your fitness. I'd be intrigued to hear what people think. I'd also be intrigued to know how accessible it is, because as we know, Peloton did have some form in this community because they did include a screen reader on their rowing machine, and on the other one, the runner.
Talkback, basically.
Yeah, Talkback was on there, and they implemented that. So I'd be intrigued to know if this app is accessible. I'm always a little bit hesitant.
But please. Because it's an audio app, you think, well, it must be, but
no guarantees.
Absolutely, that might not be the case. Yeah, let us know. That'd be really interesting.
Look, that's it for today. Thank you, as always, for getting in touch, as you do. We'll get into more of your emails tomorrow. Thank you, Shaun.
Thank you. Bye-bye.